Reaction video time. So first is apply clip. This I just want to show y'all because this like makes total
You
sense.
say, well, apply. How come your commitment to Overwatch should make you better than me? I should be able to play a character and we're both the same skill level. No, that's not fair, dude. We should not all be on the same level. I'm better than you, so I should be better than you. You shouldn't be able to pick Mauga and now we're immediately on the same playing field.
That sums up essentially the issues with tank. Like I can be a significantly better Winston player than a lot of people.
You say,
I can be a significantly better Winston player than a lot of people, but just because they're playing Malga doesn't mean that they're better than me, but they can still shut me down. So that brings us into the video that we're going to watch today. And it's called Korean Tanks Are Going on Strike. Apparently, Korean tank players have had enough of Overwatch and they just don't want to play. Yeah, so let's get to it.
Tank players in Korea just started a rebellion. They call it Mauga mentality. Korean tanks are sick and tired of getting blamed every game, sick of being told to self-sacrifice while everyone else plays however they want. Sick of being told to switch when DPS and supports refuse to swap themselves. So they stopped. They started picking heroes like Mauga, Roadhog, or
This is
Reinhardt,
trading
heroes
range.
that can ignore the traditional job of protecting the team and just play their own game. To a point where you can see both teams' tank just lock Mauga, walk up, and shoot each other in the face until one of them dies. A gentleman's agreement to make the tank diff impossible. And the message here is pretty clear. You keep saying tank diff? Fine. And let's see what happens when the DPS and supports actually have to prove themselves. And this movement, the Mauga mentality, is so popular in Korea, it's all
So what this does, let me get to a less bright screen for our eyes. What this does is when the Malgas face each other the entire portion of the game, like the entire time, like then it's up to the supports to use their utility well, and it's up to the DPS to get those trades in, right? Like because both tanks are essentially nullifying each other, it sets the game's pace based on the DPS and supports. Like this is what every tank mirror matchup does to an extent. It's about how well the rest of the teammates can play the game. But like now the tank players in Korea are forcing it. They're forcing people to show their worth. This has been the struggle that I have had with Overwatch for a while, where like I could play Winston and I'll get told so often to swap because they're playing Roadhog or they're playing Bastion or they're playing Zen or Reaper or whatever. But no one questions the other hero picks on my team. No one questions why we have a Mercy, why we're playing I don't know, Junkrat, maybe Echo into those comps. Yeah, I had a game like that yesterday where I'm playing Winston into Roadhog and it's my fault. It's my fault that my teammates are dying. Like, bro, I can't help you. You're the one that needs to position better. And it's really, it feels very unfair that the tank player doesn't get to pick what they want without being ridiculed. There's other people that get to lock in Sojourn every game and suck. There's people that get to lock in Mercy every game and suck. There's people that get to play Genji every game and suck, May, whatever. But when a tank player picks what they want, they're forced to swap over and over again. Unless you get, like, otherwise you just get ridiculed and yelled at and your team auto tilts because you're playing X hero. Alright, let's continue.
have to prove themselves. And this movement, the Mauga mentality, is so popular in Korea, it's all over the Korean community and Korean YouTube. And it became popular for a reason, because it reveals something about playing tank in Overwatch competitive, especially in Korea. Tanks are tired of being responsible for everything, understood by no one, and getting blamed before anyone else look at their own job. And as someone who played in both regions and also coached professional players from Korea and the West, I think this meme is pointing something worth understanding for every Overwatch player, no matter what role you play. Real quick, if you want to get better at Overwatch, check out
I mean, it's really tough out there. It's genuinely so tough to play 5v5. That's why you've been seeing me a lot in 6v6 tank lately. It's just because like I feel like I can play whatever hero I want for the most part. But playing 5v5, I've never like I played 5 games of 5v5 at the start of the mid patch here, and I've been asked to swap so many times, and I've been told that it's my fault we're losing so many times when I'm watching Illari Mercy roll out of spawn and they're whiffing ults.
Winnable Academy. You get full curriculum that is designed to help players from bronze all the way to
Anyway,
champion.
here's the
It's based on
ads.
the exact concepts I use to coach pro players and my private coaching students. And for now, you get access to weekly group aim class, 1v1 dojo, all for $30 a month. Links in the description. Back to the Mauga mentality. So when I say Korean tank players started a rebellion, I mean it. I mean the community is treating it like one. I first noticed this while live coaching one of my Korean students. Then I checked Korean Overwatch YouTube and forums, and it was everywhere. Some players call it the tank rights movement, and some people call it the tank union. And the community even gave it visual language
tank
of a
union's
labor
crazy.
protest, as if they're on full strike.
It is serious. And real quick, before anyone complains, Asia region likes to use AI for a lot of stuff, so they're going to. You know, obviously we're not controlling any of it. I'm pretty sure the thumbnail for this was like AI Malga in like a Rambo headband. So, well, like even this, like this is a crazy picture, dude.
Red headbands, union-style slogans, protest
Yeah, see.
memes, all of that. And that's exactly why Mauga's red headband skin, Sand, became one of the symbols of this whole movement.
Bro, like it's actually so serious. They even have a skin that they use.
The more important part is not the skin, it's the logic behind the protest. When both tanks are doing the same thing, standing there shooting at each other as Mauga in the face, there's no tank diff left to blame. The tank variable is out of the equation, and that's the whole point. The protest
Yep.
forces the conversation onto the roles that usually get to hide behind the tank diff. For once, the DPS and supports have to look at their own job. Did they take good angles? Did they use the free space? And what makes it even more wild is that it's not rare to see both tanks agree to do this. Two tanks meet in the middle, basically make a peace treaty. Korean tanks were trying to make a statement, even if that meant they were not fully prioritizing winning that specific game. And that's how much the tank players in Korea wanted to make the statement. And also, there's even a joke say, my queue time is shorter than your skill cooldown. So
That's insane. And it's so true too. I have like when I'm queuing tank, I have to put on the queue delay so that I at least get a minute. And sometimes it doesn't even work. I'm like, if I hit Q, like I'm in a game within 10 seconds. Like that's how short tank cooldown is. Now, back to a quick earlier point. Yes, a lot of the times the tank will get blamed, right? In 5v5 specifically, they will get blamed for tank diff, tank this, tank that, because of the hero that they're playing, right? But sometimes it's genuinely true. I see some people play Sigma and they're just getting rolled over by Ramatra, you know? And it's important to take accountability, but when you're playing in higher ranks, like you can trust that the tank knows what they're doing. And it's unfair for a tank player to have to memorize and be pristine at so many different heroes because now there's only one, right? So like as a tank player, like right now to be a decent tank player and get to at least masters, you need to know one poke, one brawl, one dive, and one bullshit tank, right? So you need to know like Sigma or Domina, preferably Sigma in a lot of cases. You need to know like Zarya, Ram, Rhine, at least one of those, right? Junker Queen even. You need to know a dive character, so like Doom, Diva, Ball. But like obviously the more of these you know, the better. And then you need to know a bullshit hero. You need to know someone like Malga, Orisa, or Hawk. Like you have to pick one of those three to be good at still. So like minimum to be a decent tank player and get to like Diamond Masters Elo, you need at least 4 heroes under your belt. While other people can just play Kiriko and get to champion no problem. Or you can play Sojourn, get to champion no problem.
instead of trying to deal with the blame and getting mentally checked out, they just do Mauga mentality and move on to the next game without getting mentally burned. Because the tank queue time is just very short. The role everyone blames is also the role that's hardest to replace. And
Yeah, I have like last season, I have like 1,500 games on just tank, if I'm not mistaken. Like, or it might be total. Hold on, we can check real quick. 1,500 games in season 1, 1,500 games in season 20, and even so, like even if we just look at like the heroes that I'm playing, like I'm still playing so much tank in these seasons, right? So like an insane amount of tank in these seasons. Oh wait, that's hero level. An insane amount of tank in these seasons. Like just Winston alone, I have like 400 games. Like you could just spam Q no problem. Some like support and DPS players are lucky to just get 400 games a season.
to be clear, I'm not saying this is good. If someone queues up and just ruined the game, that's just throwing the game with the slogan. And the fact that this meme spreads like crazy definitely tells you something. A lot of tank players felt this miserable feeling before they had a name for it. And this isn't just my coaching observation. I asked 2 Korean pro players separately. Top Dragon, the DPS player who won OWCS championship in Japan and plays every role at champion level, and Kellan, a longtime veteran player since early Overwatch League
Kellan.
and now playing tank for Dallas Fuel.
그러면은 실제로 탱커들이 좀 다른 역할군에 비해서 정치를 좀 자주 당한다. 이렇게 좀 생각을 하시나요?
아 탱커할 때 당했어요 저. 탱커할 때
I
당하더라고요.
get flamed. I
딜할
actually
때는 안
get
당하는데
flamed.
탱커할 때
Oh.
당하더라고요. 탱커는 진짜 죄가 없는데 당하는
Wait,
경우가
speaking too fast.
진짜 많아요. 맞아요.
Wait. So it's like, do you feel like you're getting blamed more often when you play tank? I get flamed playing tank. I actually get
했어요
flamed.
저. 탱커할 때 당하더라고요. 딜러 할 때는 안
I usually don't get flamed when I play DPS, but I do when I play tank.
당하는데 탱커할 때 당하더라고요.
많이 했다.
탱커는
For tanks, it's so common. It's so common to get flamed when there's literally no reason to be flamed. Yup.
진짜 죄가 없는데 당하는 경우가 진짜 많아요. 맞아요. 그리고 보통은
And for the most part, I think.
제가 생각했을 때 저도 이제 속으로
Sometimes I think to myself when I play, wow, this support is so bad.
생각하잖아요. 와 우리 팀 힐러 진짜 못한다. 아 얘는 진짜 못한다.
This player is
이런
really
식으로
bad.
생각을 하잖아요. 보통 그렇게 생각한 애가
Usually, that is the person who flames me. Yup.
정치도 박아요. 자기의 잘못을
They're trying to hide their own mistakes and scapegoating someone else.
숨기려고 남한테 먼저 뒤집어 씌우는 거예요. 먼저 그냥 자기도 자기가 못하는 거
They
알걸?
probably
자기도
know
자기가
they're
표정
playing bad.
빗나가고
They should know they miss sleep darts and
어디는
nades.
빗나갔는데 우리 팀이 자리를
But they just think, oh, my tank isn't creating any space.
안 만들어주니까 내가 이렇게 되는 거야. 그냥 이렇게 생각하는 거예요. 그냥
제가
There was this funny clip I saw where it was either a Korean or a Japanese Kiriko player. And this was a while ago. I don't know if we can find the clip, but they essentially like the nature of dealing with your tank is like they saw their Sigma like cast Flux against another Sigma. And what happened was like the Sigma casting their ult got rocked. And like within a microsecond, the Kiriko player avoided their tank. Like that is just like to think that like such a small mistake that can happen in any game in any elo, right? I mean, but more commonly high elo, of course. Such a common mistake like that, or not mistake, like outplayed, let's say, like is warranting like ditching a tank player. Like every tank you see, even if you're watching pro players, like that's the nature. Is you're fighting a tank who's just as good as you, if not worse or better, right? So of course they're gonna land some stuff against you that you don't really expect. They're gonna hit some rocks and cancel your flux. They're gonna hit some cages on your primals. They're gonna hit whatever. But to think that like that's what warrants an avoid for a tank is crazy. Like, and the amount of ridicule that a tank will get for that is insane. Now obviously there's times where like it's important to like actually land the flux and not die. But like that's a skill issue, you know? Like how do you expect a tank to get better if you're just gonna flame them and blame them for everything? Why would they want to keep playing that role? So Kellen says, I didn't used to think so, but recently, on the account of getting flamed.
옛날엔 그렇게 생각 안 했는데 최근 경쟁전을 해보니까 좀
I do feel like tanks get blamed more.
그런 거 같더라고요. 제가 모든 포지션을 좀 다 많이
I play all
하는데
three roles,
네네.
but
모든
I do
포지션을
feel like
해도
tanks are most commonly
다
blamed.
탱커한테 정치가 좀 많은 것 같긴 해요. 그래서 잘은 모르겠는데 약간 무지성
I'm not sure, but I do feel like a lot of the blame for tanks is mindless.
혼자니까 만만해서 그런 게
Because they're alone, it's easy to pick on them. Yep.
아닐까. 또 앞상황
And only tanks know the frontline situation.
탱커밖에 모르니까. 자 경제하면서
One thing I realized while playing comp, supports often tend to say,
킬러가 약간 자기들이 스킬
what is my tank doing? Despite whiffing their skill shots, or even if they can't keep themselves alive. Beyond true. This happens to me so often, and it feels so bad to get blamed for the game loss when you don't see a single anti from your Ana or a single sleep. You know, it feels so bad when your Mercy has no reses, when you don't get Suzu'd for any cooldowns. Like, it's insane.
못 맞추거나 자기들이 못 살아도 우리 탱커는 뭐함? 약간 이렇게 되는 것도 좀 있는 것 같아요.
So tank players getting flamed everywhere. But why is this rebellion happening in Korea, not NA, not EU?
Because Korean players have the balls to do this.
Korean ranked has a very specific culture pressure. If you don't play the meta pick, your team treats as if you're griefing them. If Winston is meta and you pick D.Va, people are much more likely to say, we lost because you didn't play Winston. And honestly, it's not just Overwatch. When I played unorthodox champions in League of Legends about 10 years ago, like Mid-Jena or Heimerdinger support, my teammates would immediately, during the champ selection, share some of very creative things about my mom, like how she passed away.
Well, damn. Yeah, Korean gaming culture is like what sports is to NA. Like genuinely, like a pro League of Legends match, I believe is more popular than the NFL. Like I'm not even kidding. Like, and if you're like high rank in League of Legends or Overwatch, that's like the equivalent to being like in the NBA. If you're like champ Overwatch, like you're next level.
Kyelan plays in both Korean and NA servers, and he told me what the difference actually feels like.
약간 픽에 대한 차이는 좀 있는 것 같긴 해요.
Some
한국은 약간
difference in
메타
picking heroes. In Korea, if you don't go with meta picks, the
픽을
players
안
get
하면
tilted.
약간 다른 포지션에 있는 사람들이 약간 썩이 나간다 치면 북미나
NA people don't usually care no matter
유럽
what you pick.
같은 쪽은
It's
어떤 픽을 해도 약간 별로 신경 안 쓰고 자기 할 거 하더라고요. 예를 들어 뭐 메타가 윈서인데 디바 같은 거라면 아 너가 윈서 안 해서 졌어.
You lost
약간 이런
because you didn't
식으로
play
그냥
Winston.
끝나는. 저는 문화 차이 같아요. 약간 한국은 진짜 약간 이기려고 하고 막 점수 올리려고 하고 이렇게 하는 것 같은데 해외는 진짜 즐기려고 하는 사람들이 더 많은 것 같아서.
And that's why Korean players are next level. Like a diamond Korean player could easily be grandmaster in NA.
그런 것 같아요.
게임을 재미를 위해서 하는 느낌을 최상위권에서 그런 임에도 불구하고 그런 느낌을 좀 받나요?
네 많이 받아요.
High
어떤
rank
부분에서 그렇게
players
좀
like
느끼시나요?
in
막
Overwatch.
모이라 해도 막 뭐라
Like the fact that there's like GM life weavers is insane to even think about.
안 하고
네.
서로 막 말도 별로.
What do you say about Moira? Hold on.
어떤 부분에서 그렇게 좀 느끼시나요?
막 모이라
Nobody says anything even if you play Moira like that. Even if you're playing Moira in NA EU, no one says anything. I mean, they flame you, of course, a little bit, but in the higher ranks only. But like low ranks, they don't.
해도 막 뭐라 안 하고
네.
서로 막 말도 별로 없고.
Not many people talk, and even if you play Malga, there is like we can do this. That's me. That's me. I'm the we can do this.
마오가 해도 우린 할 수 있다 약간 이러면서 그냥 진행하고. 약간 한국은 가끔 가다 킹 마음에 안 들면
They give up playing if they don't like the heroes.
그냥 아예 안 하는 사람들도 가끔 있어.
그 메타 픽
You're like that's a bad mentality. Low key. I mean, theoretically, if you're better, you can win with what's worse. But of course, playing what's better wins you the game, right? Like ideally, every game is Kiriko Lucio, Sojourn, and probably like Pass or something, and you're playing Sigma. And you're just running that comp the whole time, right? Like yeah, or Cat Bastion now because of the meta. Probably running that every game, unless it's banned. There's this really strong feeling that you can't play off meta.
픽이 아닌 건 하면 안 된다. 이
Korean,
느낌이
servers.
너무 심해요. 롤도 그렇고 뭐 에이펙스 레전드도 그렇고 그냥 메타 픽이 아닌
If you don't play the meta heroes, you're a burden to the team.
거는 하면 팀한테 민폐다. 근데 저는 북미랑 유럽은 안 그렇다 보거든요. 북미랑 유럽은 전 절대 아니라 봐요. 뭐 게임인데 뭐 이런 느낌? 근데 이제 한국은 그 문화가 너무 심해서
북미 서버에서 정치
And like that's the difference in the culture, right? Is like gaming is a lot more serious in Korea compared to NA and EU. Do you think it's more common to see blaming and toxicity in Korean servers?
좀 종종 더 있는 것 같은지 아니면 그 한국 서버에서 그래도 유난히 좀 더 많은 것 같은지.
아 이거는 한국 서버가 한 80% 정도 더 있는 것 같아요. 좀 더 유난히 많은 것 같긴 해요.
80% more in Korean servers are wild.
약간 진짜고 또 이기고 싶고 그런 게 있는 것 같아요.
That's the culture layer. But there's another layer underneath, and this one isn't unique to Korea. This one applies to every tank player in every region. Because even if we remove the Korean culture pressure entirely, tanks would still be the most blamed role in this game, as some of these
It's true. It's why I have a lot of people that tell me that they just can't play tank. Like I know a lot of the people that watch me here like aren't even tank players. A lot of people that watch me on Twitch aren't tank players. We have a lot of support players in chat, a lot of DPS players too. But I would say like of course there are a lot of people that also come by to learn tank from me. It's just how it goes, you know? Like a lot of people, you either find someone to watch based on what you want to learn, but sometimes a lot of people just watch for the vibe, right? And I think that's best case for me. I mean, I am a high rank player in all the roles, GM all roles, except for DBS right now, but we're climbing. But the stress of playing tank is like too much for a lot of people, and it's like when you're playing Overwatch, you don't really want to stress out, right? Especially if you're like masters or below. You probably don't want to stress yourself out. Probably working 9 to 5 and you're playing casually. So playing tank is just not it. All right, here we go.
very popular video stated, and there is some structural problem behind this.
이제 오버워치 2로 넘어오면서 탱커는 한 명이고 딜러 힐러는 두
One
명씩
tank
있잖아.
and two DPS
혼자
and
있는
supports.
탱커한테 그 인게임에서 정치를 하는 비율이 되게 높았거든요. 혼자니까 실드를 쳐줄 사람이 없으니까 이제
이제 탱커가 이제
No one to shield the tank. And like that's been the argument for 6v6 is like at least the tank has another tank to get help. And like I've seen that firsthand. If you watch the latest video where I was playing with Emong, like him on Sigma like helped me play Winston, you know, even if we were facing I think it was like Roadhog. Even if we were facing Roadhog, like it was fine. Like he could still help me out. Right? And I'm not reliant on my own cooldowns to deal with someone else's cooldowns. Especially when mine are more high risk than a Sigma shield, right?
혼자다 보니까 옆에 변호를 해줘.
Yeah, having someone else to draw aggro is so important. And like in 5v5, that's usually supposed to be the DPS's job. And that's why you see like a character like Genji get played a lot, or like Venture, or just flankers and off anglers, where they can draw aggro from enemies and help out the tank. You know, they can take off some pressure from the tank. But like now in this poke meta, where everyone's just playing far back, and like you're expecting the one tank to face 5 other people, like it's just not that enjoyable. Like how is someone like Domina supposed to face like a cat bastion? You know, what do? You don't. Like now you have to play Malga to face that, to even be able to contest it at all. But even someone like how is anyone supposed to play Junker Queen in this meta? Like genuinely, if you're a Junker Queen player right now, there's no way you get past Diamond unless you're like beyond cracked and hit every knife. Like even so, even doing that probably isn't enough in the current poke meta.
친구가 없어요. 근데 힐러는 이제 변호를 해주고 딜러도 변호를 해주는데 내 옆에 있는 애는 잘못 아니야 이러고 이제 일단 탱커한테 뭐라 하는 것 같아요. 일단 가장 먼저 보이는 포지션이기도 하고.
So far,
position that
we've
you see
talked
first,
about
yep.
why tanks get flamed, why they're always alone and lonely. But before we talk about why is this so unfair, let's actually check the premise. Are tanks really that important? Is
They are important.
tank diff actually real? Is the game really over when you have a bad tank?
Nope.
일단 탱커는 못하면 집니다.
Well, yes. Right now in 5v5, because there's only one tank, if they get diffed, like it's hard. Tank diffs are incredibly rare in the elos that you're playing at. Like hopefully you have 2 people of the same rank facing each other in the matchmaker. You know, ideally that's the case. But it's like if one tank loses, like let's say you're playing Roadhog very poorly and you're facing a Hazard, like once you go down, like now that Hazard just gets to kill everyone because they're like 650 HP with block on on demand and jumps galore. Like it's a lot.
못하면 그 게임을 지는 게 맞고
You lose if you play bad.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean that's the
왜
case,
잘해도
right?
못 이기 그리고 잘해도 못
Playing well doesn't mean you can win. Yes, and I've had so many games like this.
이깁니다.
그거 왜 그렇죠?
탱커가 막 계속 죽고 그런다. 일단 죽으면 못 이겨요. 근데 못한다 기준이 죽는 거예요. 탱커는.
Playing bad is dying. Yeah.
일단 이제 건물로 따지면은 탱커는 이제 토대예요. 토대. 빌딩의 토대.
Foundation
그래서
of a
토대가
building.
없으면
If you don't have
그 위에
foundation,
기둥도 못 찍고
you can't
뭐
put pillars
인테리어도
to
못
do
하죠.
interior
그래서
work.
이제 탱커가 못하면
The tank is bad. You can't even start. That's why you lose. Yep.
이제 시작도 못한다. 그냥 그래서 그대로 진다는 거예요.
저는
It's just like to think that tanks set the pace for everyone is incredibly true, right? So when you have a bad tank, like it's really difficult to win because again you just get rolled over, right? But like just because you have a good tank doesn't mean the good tank player wins either.
탱커가 구멍이면 못 이긴다는 맞는
The tank is the hole you
것
can't
같아요.
win.
일단 힐러들이
Tanks take too much damage. Supports can't damage. Yep.
뭐 딜을 해야 될 상황인데 탱커가 너무 많이 맞아서 힐만 하게 되면 또 자리를 못 민다 생각해가지고. 근데 또 탱커가 엄청 잘한다고 해서 이기는 것도
Tank playing well doesn't mean you win.
아닌 것 같긴 해요. 아무래도 탱커 하나 되고
Compared to Overwatch 1, since you're alone, you're more limited to contest enemy supports and DPS. Yeah, I mean, I've only got one bubble. And it's like, if I'm facing on a break, I have to block sleep, I have to block nade, I have to block whip, and I have to cut off their healing, and the bubble needs to last long enough. So I'm one person trying to do all of that.
이제 뭐 상대방 딜러나 힐러를 막을 수 있는 게 옛날
And that's just supports. Imagine having to block, like Deadeye, having to block Flashbang, having to block Sojourn E, having to block whatever. Like, it's too many resources to contest as a single player.
오버워치 1보다 좀 한정되어 있어가지고 탱커가 뭐 좀 더 오래 맞고 이런다 해도 딜러나 힐러들이 못하면 이기기가 좀 어렵더라고요.
So let's put it all together. If your tank is bad, you lose. That part of tank diff is real. But if your tank is good, your team still has to be good. Tank doesn't build a house, tank is the foundation. But here's where it gets ugly. Because people use this asymmetry, they use tank diff as a scapegoat, as a magic word to wash their hands off their own play. And I can personally relate to this
Yep.
very well because it happened to me pretty recently. I came back to playing Overwatch after almost 3 months off, and as I was climbing back to Grandmaster, I ran into one of those games. In Dorado, we got full health, and my team starts typing tank diff in chat. Now, what happened there was we had 2 hit scan DPS, not flanking, playing just main
Oy
angle,
vey.
and we had Mercy and Moira, or maybe Lifeweaver or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but either way, one of those worst pairing supports that cannot really enable tank. I'm not saying I played perfect or anything, but in my personal educated opinion, if we have Mercy and 2 hit scan DPS, I would say it is more of a DPS game rather than a tank game. So I genuinely wanted to ask and understand why they're thinking it's a tank diff, so we hopped on voice chat. The first thing he said was, you know, in Overwatch 2, tank has become the most important role. People say it's a tank game. Do you agree? And by the way,
Not even close. This is what I was just saying earlier about the like poke meta, especially where the poke meta doesn't let the tank players play. They don't like, you don't really matter. It's like when Widow's on the map as a tank player. Like, what do? Like, you just watch your teammates fall apart because they position bad, right? Or they don't know how to contest the Widow. And it's also like not your job in a lot of cases to contest Widow. Like what happens if you roll out on Sigma defense on Junkertown and they roll out on Widow? Like, you can only place your shield so far to block Widow LOS, and you can only like you're expected to do that and to deal with the 4 other people on the team, which is far too much work. It's too much split attention from one person.
his in-game name was DPS LF Mercy. So while some part of tank diff do exist, so many players are using this as a scapegoat. So even though tanks matter, the binary thinking of we lost because of the tank usually doesn't hold up. In a lot of these situations, what people think of as the responsibility of tanks, like taking space or engaging or hero swapping, can actually be shared by the team.
중요하긴 한데 꼭
Yes, a lot of DPS players and support players that I find, they feel like it's not their responsibility to swap. It's the tank player's responsibility to swap, which is beyond annoying. Like, as a tank, you're expected to contest enemies, to peel for teammates, to contest the objective, to take space, to play defense, to play offense. Like, you're expected to do so much on the right pick at all times, while other people can just play Moira Mercy, you know, Mei Junkrat, whatever, and like do nothing the whole game. All right, so Kellen says hero switching is
꼭
important, but
탱커가
it doesn't have to just be tank. DPS and supports also need to rock paper scissors. It's true.
바꿔야 된다는 없는 것 같습니다. 딜러도 가위바위보 싸움 해야 되고 힐러도 가위바위보 싸움 해야 되고
오.
다 같이 하는 게 맞다고 생각합니다.
아 무조건
everyone should be
딜러랑
switching.
힐러를 바꿀 수 있고
네네.
그거는 실제로 그냥 제가 바꿔요.
우리 팀 섭딜이 뭐 자리를
If the flex DPS takes the wrong space, then you can't pressure enemy tank. Yup.
이상하게 먹어가지고 이제 뭐 상대 탱커를 못 때려서 내 상대 섭딜은 자리를 잘 먹어서
And if the enemy flex DPS takes a good angle, you're bound to lose space.
탱커를 때려가지고 우리는 밀리고 상대는 밀고 들어오고 뭐 이런 상황이나 아니면은 뭐 충분히 힐러도 이제
Yeah, like supports can also DPS too and take angles, right? Like, they don't have to be like little babies standing behind the tank either. Like, they can, like a Kiriko can get in a limb. Like, no problem. Same with Alari.
각을 벌릴 수 있는 애들 있죠. 키리코나 일라리 이런 애들. 그런 애들이 각 안 벌리고 그냥 정면에만 그냥 서가지고
Just play main and
틱틱
shoot
쏘니까
mindlessly.
그냥 자리는 자리대로 다 상대가 벽 끼면서 미는데 우리는 이제 설 자리가 없는. 그렇죠. 아니면은 왜 먼저 안 가냐? 약간 아나가 나노를 들고 있는데 이제
Ana has nano, so the
탱커가
tank
이제
is
나노
expecting
죽겠지
there but
했는데
doesn't
안
get it, so he backs. Yup.
줬어. 그래서 뺐어. 근데 이제 힐러가 아니 좀 먼저 가면 안 돼? 이제 이러는. 그러니까 사실 충분히 아나가 이제
Well, Ana could have easily nanoed after seeing enemy in our tank's position.
보고 아 상대도 나오네. 우리 탱커 여기 있네. 아 그냥
Yup.
들어가겠다고 누를 수 있잖아요.
But still, while I very much agree with what they were saying, but in my own experience, I do think tanks are required to swap a little bit more often than the other roles. I noticed this when I
Oh,
was
my
preparing
eyes.
my Winston course. I tried to climb as Winston one trick, but there were so many counters every game. So despite playing Winston
You know, this is so relevant because, you know, who are we talking about? Who's talking right now? The Winton guy. Like, hold on. We'll let him talk first before we say anything.
for 3 weeks, I was hovering around Master 3, But once I started picking more flexible tank heroes, I was able to climb to Grandmaster in just 8 days. And obviously, this doesn't mean only tanks should swap, but I think it is true that tanks are often more pressure to switch their hero. Okay, so let's recap. Tanks get blamed more than other roles. And gaming culture in Korea.
Okay, wait, before the recap. So, like, as a Winston player, and as someone who's climbed to GM3 NA as Winston only, let me tell you, it has been the most stressful experience ever. Although I enjoy it, I love playing Winston. He's my favorite hero. I could play him every single game. I mean, for limited times every day, like no problem. And he's like my most played nearly every season now, except for this one. Playing Winston is some of the most stressful gameplay ever because after first fight, regardless if you win or lose, if a DPS on the enemy team dies, they're swapping Reaper, they're swapping Bastion. If a support dies, they're picking Zen, picking on a Brig. And then you're not allowed to enjoy the hero that you're playing. Now you're playing a whole different game and you're playing so far back. You have to change your play style. You don't get to enjoy the hero to the fullest extent. And if you can't enjoy the hero to the fullest extent, people, they make fun of you. They flame you. They ask you to swap constantly. Even though I'm someone who can definitely outplay a Reaper player in like Masters GM level, like no problem. Like I could be significantly better than the counter swapping heroes that get played, like especially like a Bastion, right? Like I'm so good at baiting turret form, but if my teammates are also dying to turret form, then there's nothing that I can do about it. But they expect me to swap to deal with the Bastion turret form because I'm playing Winston. And just for the sake of just for the reason that I'm on Winston and they're on Bastion, it's my fault that we're losing, right? And like that's the issue with tank. That's why it's just not enjoyable to play right now. Is you can still be good and be able to outplay your counters, no problem as a tank player. Sure, you have a lot of power and agency, but if other people aren't doing the same, then the blame falls on you.
Okay, so let's recap. Tanks get blamed more than other roles. And gaming culture in Korea is even making it worse to a point where they literally started a rebellion. If your tank is bad, you're very likely to lose. If your tank is good, you don't always win. And a lot of things that people blame on the tank, taking space, engaging, switching heroes, those can be shared responsibilities. So if you are a tank player, what do? How do you actually enjoy this role without playing Mauga and going on full strike?
탱커로
What I do is I just be excessively nice to people and just try to be as positive as possible so that other people feel like pieces of shit when they flame me. That's my ploy. I'm not nice because I'm nice. I'm nice so that other people feel like Dookie when they make fun of me for playing Winston, right? I just be as nice as possible and be like, oh, good try. It's okay. We'll get him next. Oh, my bad, guys. I made a bad jump. I'm sorry. And you just be as nice as possible. And then other people, they mess up. If you want to win comp as a tank, you have to not rely on
그렇게
heals.
경쟁전을
Yup.
잘 이기려면
I try
힐을 안
not to.
먹으면서 해야 되거든요. 진짜 안 먹는 마인드로 해야 돼요. 우리 힐러는 없다.
I said my supports don't exist in this game, genuinely. And like it's the same with DPS. You have to feel like when you're playing tank, you can't expect follow up in any sort of fashion. You have to play like you're not getting healed and you're not getting any DPS follow up.
게임에 이 마인드로 해야 돼요. 이제 킬을 줄 거라고 생각하지 말고 얘가
they
그래도
healed
힐을
me,
주네?
nice.
이렇게
Yeah.
받아들여야 돼. 당연히 나한테 힐을 주겠지라고 받아들이면
If you expect your team to be healing you, your stress becomes 10 times. Yup.
스트레스가 진짜 10배가 돼요. 거기서.
그거 완전 공감합니다. 예, 제가 경험자였기 때문에.
당연히 힐을 안 주겠지가 돼.
Default expectation should be, oh, they're not gonna heal me, then you get less stress. Yeah, I just play my own game. I play as though like no one else on my team exists and that they're not good. I don't expect to get healed any engagement. I just try to, be the best that I can be without expecting anyone else to be anywhere near as good.
해야 돼요. 얘는 당연히 나한테 힐을 안 줄 거야가 되면 좀 덜합니다. 그래서 플레이도 그러면 더 정교해지는 게 더
You do
피 관리
play more
하려고 하고
sophisticated.
더 힐팩 먹으려고 하고 더 혼자 그냥 하려고 하고 이렇게 되거든요.
네네.
Health
근데
packs,
거기서도
yup.
정치가 들어올 수 있는 게
If you have watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that like I play beyond patient, beyond safe. I've just like such a like self-sufficient tank player. Like I basically never need heals. Like I just like most of the times I'm playing, like just be hiding behind a box, like waiting for something to happen so that I can go. You know?
탱커님 정면에 좀 서주세요.
맞아요.
메인?
그리고
Nope.
저
진짜
티어도 라인님 왜 라인인데 실드 안
Ryan, why
들어요?
are you not
저희
holding
상대 병력
shield?
있는데 저희 실드 좀 하죠. 막 이런 거 진짜 너무 많거든요.
그쵸. 근데 어쩔 수 없어. 그거 쌩까예요.
Yep, just
이제
ignore them.
그게 쌩까는 게 맞다라고 말씀드릴 수 있는 게 그렇게 앞에서 방패 들어줘야 되는 애들이면은 들어줘도
If these are the players that need us to hold shield, they're not good enough to get things done with the shield. Damn.
뭐 아무것도 안 해요.
탱커 할 때 약간
When I play tank, I think of the formations, positions,
구도를
like,
보고 약간
and think about the
머릿속으로
map.
맵을
Yep.
생각한 다음에 약간 어느 쪽으로
If I push this side, they'll have a worse angle. Yeah, you see me do this a lot, especially on Winston, where like I'll take a hard off angle and I'll like force enemies to walk a weird way. Like I play the bait game a lot, where like especially with counters, like I force Bastion turret like in a weird way. I force the Reaper to like TP up to me to try and contest me because like that they always feel like it's their job to do that. But then I just jump somewhere else. Now the Reaper's in a dookie position, right?
어느 쪽 사이드를 밀면 상대가 뭐 한쪽으로 몰리고 약간 이런 거 생각하면서 그
And if the formation becomes as I imagine, it's so much fun.
구도대로
It is.
되면
It's
재밌는
a
것
lot of
같아요.
fun.
그러니까 어떻게 보면은 사실 일반인 유저분들 중에 거의
95% of the tank players would have a hard time even thinking about formation. Yeah.
90
Well, because like it's a lot to manage, right? Like as a DPS player, if you're diamond elo, it's just like find someone red and shoot them, right? As a support player, it's find someone crit and heal them and then shoot an enemy too. But then as a tank, like you have to do so much more.
5% 이상이 이 구도에 대해서 전혀 이제 생각을 아마 하기 힘드실 텐데 그래서 더더욱 정말 고티어 가는 게 아니면 엄폐 잘 끼기도 힘들고
It's a lot of the times like you can't use cover as a tank. Like you need to be contesting enemies, but it's really hard to control how many enemies you can contest at once.
힐을 더더욱 많이 필요로 할 거고 이제
맞아요.
그래서 좀 더 스트레스를 받을 수 있을 것 같아요. 어떻게 보면 탱커가
Yeah,
굉장히
it's stressful.
어려운 포지션이군요.
네, 그런 것 같아요. 근데 만약에
This hard going Baller Doom might be fun.
그게
Yeah?
어렵다.
Unfortunately, I don't play Baller Doom, but I can imagine that just playing one of the more DPS oriented tanks, like even Hog or Queen or I don't know Diva, Zarya, whatever, is probably a lot more fun than trying to like main tank for a team like on Sig, Ryan, or Winston.
둠피스트나 레킹볼 하면 좀 재밌지 않을까. 저는 약간 좀 혼자 그나마
Yeah,
좀
you can
혼자
just play
킬을 많이
alone
할 수
and
있는
kill squishies.
디바나
Like I've been playing Hazard lately, and in 5v5, like you legit just ignore the other tank, like you wait for a crucial cooldown, like Hog Hook, for example, and then it's like find a squishy to obliterate.
레킹볼 이런 걸 그냥 하는 게 낫지 않나. 디바 같은 캐릭은 이제 매트릭스 있어서 피 관리도 할 수 있고 이 스킬 때문에 사이드 딜도 세가지고 딜러를 이긴다고 생각해가지고
Thank you for watching this video, and this is a new style of video that I tried, and if you guys like this style, you can leave a comment and like the video. Thank you. So I'm gonna finish this video with the interview clip from a legendary tank player who won world championship multiple times, Hanbin.
Hanbin.
그리고 오버워치 꿈나무들에게
Can you recommend which role
포지션
to play?
추천해볼까요?
일단 탱커는 절대 하지 마라 얘들아.
First of all, never play tank kids. Damn. And Hanbin's my goat too. And the first thing he says, world champion, has never played tank. Like, hold on. Wait, let me get out of the way so you can see it. First of all, never play tank kids. Oy vey. Oy vey. Yeah, it's just
는 절대 하지
tank
마라
is,
얘들아.
tank is just like, it's stressful. It's beyond stressful. And like I like this stress, don't get me wrong, but I don't get like I don't like getting ridiculed for it. I don't like getting blamed for every reason that we lost and never given credit for the win. That's been a big issue. It's like a lot of the times we win, people be like, "Good job, Sojourn." Sojourn? What do you mean Sojourn? Like, I'm the one like holding them still. I'm the one giving you the whole map to play on. All you have to do is point and click. It's always the tank's reason for a loss, never the tank's reason for a win. And it's beyond insane. But this video pretty much sums up why I don't really enjoy 5v5 tank as much anymore. And it's genuinely just because of how much I get flamed for losses and never, applauded for a win. Of course, my chat applauds me for the win. They say I play well, and it's very nice. But I just don't have fun even when I do win. Like yesterday, I mean, editor can probably put up a clip or two here. But yesterday, like I was playing games, and although I was winning, it's just not fun at all. It's not fun. Like you win and it just feels gross. Like, I feel like I got a shower after. But yeah, I think this video sums up like the issue with tanks right now, to be honest. It's a very good video. Link should be in description. I'll probably link it to you all here right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I do want to just keep uploading 6v6 content. Actually, editor can put a clip here at the end. Playing 5v5 is just like the difference between the peaks and the lows and emotions that you can have in 5v5 at that current point in time, given the meta. It just like, it feels like you put in so much effort for so little reward. And that's why I've been playing a lot of 6v6 lately. But I feel like I put in so much effort into this game to win, and it just feels very like I don't feel satisfied. And there's a lot of issues that I've been having with it, you know? A lot. And like sure, I'm GM3, I'm high rank, whatever. But like I should feel good about these wins. Like I don't mind facing counters, but it's like sometimes like Winston is just like unplayable. Or it's just like knowing that I'm gonna be having a hard time playing, not that enjoyable. And that's why you've been seeing a lot of 6v6 lately. Because I feel like I can just play Winston or just play other tanks and just like not have to like worry. Like I don't have to stress myself too much. I don't know. Like I'll play more 5v5 just because they've nerfed a lot of things that were causing issues. Like as you saw, Lucio there wasn't like too big of an issue. Same with Kiriko. Oh my god, like the games that I've played today, like I've played like what 4 or 5 games at this point, and I just like I just have not had that much fun playing. I know a lot of people watch me for 5v5 Winston, but I just don't have fun. I just don't have as much fun. I know it impacts the performance of videos and performance of stream and performance of this and performance of that, but what about the performance of my mental? I want to keep uploading Winston content, of course, but the only way for me to enjoyably do that is to just play 6v6. And of course, I want to branch out a little bit and play other roles too. I don't mind playing support or DPS 5v5 role queue, but playing tank and role queue has just not been fun. So I don't really want to do that anymore. At least in the current time. If it gets more fun, sure, I'll play more, but I don't know. I want to expand out what we're doing on this channel anyways. Even if the videos don't perform well, I still want to upload them. I still want to upload them for people that enjoy this stuff. And I hope everyone does, of course. It's just fun because I get to play the game, you know? It's fun because I get to play Winston when I want all the time. Winston.